I watched over 365 movies in 2024. Here is what I learned. Awkward beginnings. So many films start off bad. I'll say it. It really depends. It spends most of its time world building or explaining the character, where you really don't know if you'll like a film until the inciting incident happens, which is where the plot happens. Let's say the main story is this guy gets abducted by aliens. You gotta wait until he's abducted by aliens to know if you'll like this film. Because most of the time the beginning is just awkward. They're just trying to teach you the world, I guess. And a lot of times it's just hand-fed to the audience. That's fine. When a film does it well, it does it really well. And I'll use Parasite as an example. Just watched that yesterday. The beginning, yes, it's teaching you about the world, but it really immerses you into it and doesn't tell you, it shows you. Another thing I've learned, some films that are good are bad, and some films that are bad are good. Wes Anderson, I'm looking at you. Listen, I'm gonna start a beef hot take. Sometimes when a film is overly stylized or it's doing an artistic approach, like 2001 Space Odyssey, sometimes it loses the plot. That's all I'm saying. And when it loses its plot, its main focus is just on how pretty the film looks, which is great. I mean, love to see those skills. But I'm a plot person. I don't care if the budget is so low. I don't care if it's filmed on an iPhone. If the plot is good, it's good. Okay, I'll stick for the whole thing. This goes into my next point, where the script really does make a film. Now, a lot of things make a film. That's fact. But I think the two most important things that make up a film are the script and the plot. The script will make or break the entire film for me. The way the characters talk is so important, because when it's off, you can tell. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. Now, if you don't notice anything and you just carry on watching, that's a great script. This is easier to tell in newer films, like 2000s to now, than older films like from the 80s or even 90s, honestly. My friend Kyle once said, and I'll always remember this, and now I notice it when I watch films, where sometimes a film script is written like a book. And this isn't how people talk. This can mean that they explain too much in their dialogue, and it's just not how people talk at all. It's more like how a book is written. A great example of this, and how this conversation even started, watch the new Percy Jackson series on Disney+. Because that series is like so identical to the book. I think it's like the most accurate to the book, where you can just tell, because nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. Also, one key example that I've seen is when characters talk. No. Is when characters explain stuff. No. Is when characters talk through their emotions. They're saying how they're feeling instead of showing how they're feeling. One main example, oh my God, the new Avatar show. There's a moment in that show where Aang fully says, I feel scared. Like, show it, don't tell it. That's all I'm saying. This is a little too brutal. These are just my opinions and what I've learned, and I know it might seem intense. My next point, actors make or break a film. Sometimes it doesn't matter how awkward a script is or corny or whatever. If the actor's good, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you wouldn't even be able to tell because the actors are just that good. I don't know, I think of actors like Jim Carrey, Martin Short, Jack Black, sometimes, okay? Timothy Chalamet. Great actor. I don't know, it really comes down to preference, but I just really enjoy anything that these actors are in. I think a great example of this is Plus One. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. Now, this script is corny, but I think it's meant to be like that. The actress Maya Erskine, I hope I'm saying that right, she's just great in this. She fully transformed this script to be so funny. So sometimes it doesn't matter. It's just, if you like an actor, you'll just like anything that they're in. And yeah, that's biased, but at the same time, it's why actors are actors, I guess, and why some are in so many films. On to my next point. There are some kid movies that are for adults, and there are some kid movies that are for kids. Let's talk about Harold and the Purple Crayon. I went to see that movie in theaters by myself. I probably seem like a weirdo, but it's okay. This movie's for kids. It's for kids, and you can tell in the script, in the acting, in the way the jokes are told. You can just tell. But here's the thing with those movies. You have to understand that coming in, or at least in the first 10 minutes. It's a vibe check. You're vibe checking the movie, and you're like, okay, this is for kids. I have to let go of any expectations I have of that film and just enjoy it. And I had a blast. I even got a purple crayon. It was so fun. I had a great day. That's an interesting thing, because some kid movies, like Cat in the Hat, that can be for an adult as well, because there's innuendos in it. It's funny, the way the script is written, it's a little bit more mature, even though it's for kids as well. It works. It works. Same with The Grinch. Oh my God, The Grinch. I love The Grinch. I love The Grinch. I can make a whole thing on The Grinch. I'm not going to today. Maybe another time. But some movies, you can tell, are definitely for kids. But once you let go of that and you just allow the film to be the film, it's fine, and you're having a blast.
Got a blast.
Another thing I learned is that the real way to tell if you actually like a film is in the last 30 minutes. You have to watch the entire thing. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes. But a lot of times when you stick through the film, it might suck for the most of it, but those 30 minutes, that's when stuff gets real. Most of the time, I'll just passively watch a film until the last 30 minutes, and that's when I'm invested fully. Great example, Awakenings on Netflix. This film, it's chill. Okay, it's based on a true story. Crazy, so cool, such an interesting film. It has Robin Williams in it, and everything really, I was fully invested those last 30 minutes, but the entire rest of it, I was just passively watching it. And after watching those 30 minutes, I really liked it. Same thing with the movie Time Cut on Netflix. That film, it's like one of those Netflix movies. I don't know how else to explain it, but the last 30 minutes, I could not look away. I feel like those last 30 minutes are like the core of the film, because that's when the climax is happening. That's when all this stuff is going down. That's when everything that has been built up throughout the entire film is finally happening. Same with Parasite. I mean, that's just a great film. But the last part of that, where everything's going down, what can I say? It's important. I think big picture of what I've learned watching over 365 movies in 2024 is I learned what films I personally like. With social media and trending films that are coming out, it's so easy to just kind of follow that and watching what's coming out and liking that. I watched everything. I watched stuff from the 80s, I watched stuff from the 40s, from the 60s, new stuff on Netflix, on Max. I tried to really watch everything and kind of become cultured. I mean, I feel like there's so many films out, and no matter how much you watch, there's always gonna be one you haven't seen. I watched Surf's Up for the first time. These films that I feel like people kind of expect you to already have watched, but I either forgot it or I haven't watched it. So yeah, I learned what style of film I personally like. And for me, I really like films from the 80s. I love anything with Martin Short, Steve Martin in it. Love sci-fi. Love sci-fi so much, in anything animation. I like anything with a really strong plot. I don't care how sketchy the film looks. If the plot's there, I'm gonna watch the whole thing and I'm gonna enjoy it. I love anything with a message about believing in yourself. It's why The Muppets is my favorite movie, I think. I really did a deep dive. I also learned what I don't like. I really don't like films that are kind of slice of life. I call them life movies because there isn't really a plot except for the person's life. I just need more. I think this is why I like sci-fi, because it's normal life but with a twist. A great example of a life movie is This Is Where I Leave You. I think it's on Netflix, it might have been moved off, where it's really just their life. Nothing really big happens unless if it's in the world, and it's very like rooted in reality. Great example of a movie with a twist is White Noise, because that movie is set up like a life movie where it's very chill, they're in their life, but then stuff happens, stuff goes down, and their life changes, and it becomes a sci-fi in a way. It's almost dystopian, and it's just great. Great movie. Adam Driver's in both of those. Don't know how somehow I made the connection. Adam Driver. Another great actor. I'll watch anything with Adam Driver in it. This is just a fraction of what I've learned watching this many movies. If you like these kind of videos and want to see more film-related content, check out my channel, where I also make short films. I just released a short film a few months ago called Self. It's like 30 seconds long if you want to check it out. This year I'm doing the same challenge again, where I'm watching 365 movies. That's my goal. So comment down below what movie I should watch. And yeah, bye.